offensive identity. Last year, you look at the pass run split, it was 60-40. With the retooled roster this year, you think it'll be more 50-50? You think that'll be a shift from what happened last year?
I mean, I think whatever happened in the past is that. It's independent of what's going to happen in the future. Every game's going to be a little different. You know, some games we're going to try to ground and pound, get medieval, as we spoke about this spring. Some games, you know, we're going to air it out. And some games it's going to be a mix, you know. That's just how it's going to play out. So it'll be different. It'll be kind of dependent on the identity we build in training camp. As we exit training camp, we should have a good feel for who we are. And I think that'll really dictate, you know, where we really put our focus into.
When it comes to Justin, just what things are you going to be looking for from him early on here in the training camp?
I mean, with Justin, it's like when I first got here, I was trying to get a sense of everything. And then you quickly start to realize that this guy, A, is an incredibly hard worker, B, he's pretty darn brilliant, and you know, he get out on the field, the arm talent, his ability, and now it's just a matter, every day he brings it. You know, every day he brings it, A game, total focus, concentration. So we're really going to push the envelope a little bit this training camp and just see where we can go. And it's, you know, for Justin to be able to get something, understand something, everybody else has got to be able to make it work. So it behooves the entire offense, all of us, to really chase that challenge.
Greg, to follow it up, how are the receivers coming along? Because, I mean, that's a relationship that has to grow in this scheme as well.
Yeah, we're really excited about this group. Hardworking, diligent. You know, we know we've got a lot of work in front of us, and everybody's excited about that fact. And the receivers are leading the way on that. I mean, you go into their meetings, very impressive how they meet. Guys are really dialed in, and you know, I think we got a lot of competition there. We got a lot of guys that have played in the league and done really well. You know, I was with DJ at the Pro Bowl in 2019 when I coached there. You know, DJ Chark, Josh. Shoot, I love Josh coming out of Tennessee. I wanted to draft him. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of talent, and we got young guys that we brought in. So we got young guys, and we really got to see where those young guys, how they can assimilate, how quickly they can fit into the picture. But we got great competition, and we got guys that are really going after it, so it's a really good thing.
Similarly, can you talk about the running back room?
Yeah, I mean, the running back room, I think, is a strong room, very strong room. You know, I've been with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards elsewhere in the past. I know them well, and you know, we got with Spiller and a couple of the other guys. It's pretty darn good competition. You know, it's really going to be interesting to see how that unfolds with J-Pat and the crew. So, I really feel good about that group. Really feel good about it. They're tough-minded, get after it. You know. They do a great job.
Greg, is there a pecking order to what you want to see with those running backs?
Not right now, no. There's no such thing as that. I mean, we know Gus and J.K. are, you know, two of the leaders on the team, and then we just got to see how everything moves and fits from there. See how it progresses. Right now, though, they're all dialed in, working hard. You know, man, I'm giving them all gold stars right now.
Wherever Coach Harbaugh goes, he usually gets the best out of his tight end position.
Yes.
Like, what things are you going to be looking for those guys early on to see who can kind of jump out ahead there?
Well, I mean, we put a lot on our tight ends. They do a lot, and you know, we'll use different tight ends differently, but they're gonna have to be prepared to do a lot. They're going to be on the line of scrimmage. They're going to be in the backfield. They're going to be split out. They're going to be moving all over the place. They're going to have different responsibilities. So, a guy like Hayden Hurst he can do it all. You know, he can do it all. Will Dissly has a chance to be one of the best blockers in the league and a really good receiving tight end, which we've seen from him in the past. So, you know, and then, you know, Donald Parham, big target. Now we got to get him more rounded out and involved in the run game, for example. Stone Smart, another guy. And then we got some young guys in here competing. So it's going to be, it's a very diverse group, and they've got a very diverse set of responsibilities in front of them at the tight end position here.
Going back to the receivers, only 2 days in, but what stood out to you about Q the last couple of days?
I mean, really nothing that I didn't expect. I think he looks smooth, fast. He's on top of his assignments, catching the ball well, and man, he looks good out there. You know, and that's kind of what we expected. So yeah, he's doing a really nice job. And it's like everybody, you know, it's day 2. Man, let's just get a little bit 1% better every day.
We talked to Jim yesterday about tempo violations as far as just like the speed of practice,
Yes.
when DB's playing through the ball or whatever. So when you're evaluating, watching practice back and seeing some of these maybe more contested catches, how do you evaluate those when you know that the DB might be, from Jim's perspective, sort of coached not to play through the ball? Like, how do you evaluate those plays?
And it plays both ways, too. There's times when our guys will pull back, and there's times when it's, you know, we're competing. So, I mean, you definitely factor that in. You factor that in, then you coach off of it. You know, here's how the corner's probably going to play it here with his right hand. You got to use your body or your elbow or et cetera, however it plays out. But you're always factoring that in as far as the results. You know, the results of the plays right now aren't as big for us as the process and the ability to coach off of everything and grow together, you know? So.
Yeah. What do you learn about an offense when the pads come on?
Oh, man, I mean, this is, you know, pro football. That's when you really learn what you got. And you know, it's not like you're making quick diagnosis the first day the pads come on. You know, there's a process there. Day 1 with the pads, day 2 with the pads, et cetera. So, you know, I think, you know, you got to have a kind of a wise view on that and understand that's going to be a bit of a process once the pads come on for everybody. And but really, that's going to, as you grow through training camp, you're going to really understand the kind of physicality that you're going to have as an offense, and it gives you an opportunity to develop it as well.
Greg, now that you've been with Justin for a while, are there any things about him that still surprise you? The stuff he does, whether it be on the field or in meetings?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm talking fine tooth comb. Like if there is like a dot out of place on a script or game plan, it will be, hey, what is this? Yeah. So very impressive. And then on the field, man, he saw some things this spring a couple times, and he saw one play today. The guy he just saw it and hit it. He's got the arm that can make that happen just like that. And you know, really impressive in that regard.
Do you mind going in detail, like what play that was?
Yeah, I mean, there was a receiver to the right, the read was to the left. The coverage cheated hard, and he just saw it out of the corner of his eye, flipped his hips, boom, hit it for a big chunk play. So just the guys that can see things that aren't necessarily part of their progression. It's not like the quarterback drops back every play and just says, who's open? You know, there's a method to where his eyes go, you know, and guys that can be disciplined with their eyes, but also understand what else is going on because, hey, if the corner falls down over here, my eyes are over there, et cetera. Very, very important.
Coach, you coach under John. What are the differences you see so far between John and Jim?
I think we addressed this in the spring. You know, I think those guys are so similar in so many ways, and so different in so many ways. Just like any brother, your brother, my brother, our sister, your sister. You know, everybody's different. I think, again, the thing that really jumps out is number one, they're both incredibly ethical people, really good people. Extremely competitive people and extremely successful people. Just look at the track record. Nothing else needs to be said. So it's pretty remarkable. And, you know, I give all the credit to their parents.
We talked to Jim yesterday about you a little bit, and he calls you like a chess master for your ability to sort of think ahead in terms of, you know, 5, 6, 7 moves. He's like, I can think ahead 2, 3 moves, but I can think ahead further.
Well, that was very nice of him.
Yeah, I agree. But like, where did you, I guess, learn that? Have you always had that ability from a football perspective to think about the play after the play, after the play, the call after the call? Was that a learned
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't know if it's true, but I really don't know how to put a finger on that, you know. But I'm definitely trying to see ahead, you know, later in the week, later in the game, later in the season, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I think one thing that does help a coach is when you start at the end point and work backwards. You know, when you put something together, you always start here's where we want to be. When this is what it needs to look like here, And then all of a sudden, as you work backwards to try to build it there, you start to see things that can pop up. And that happens in the course of a game as well. Reverse engineering. Very nice.
With Kamani, I mean, it's early, but where do you envision his role, in the running back group?
Yeah, I mean, competing extremely hard right now, flashing, showing really good vision. And then, I mean, this is literally a meritocracy. We're out there competing, and however things, afford themselves as we move forward will kind of determine that.
What do you like about him?
I think, when you watch him in college, extremely productive, maximizes runs, really good vision, has his brain and his feet are kind of connected quickly. So when he sees something, his feet are moving right there. So I do think that he's done some really good things for us. Once we get the pads on, we'll see more. And once we get into the preseason games, that'll be his chance to really shine.
Seems like you guys have settled on a group of 5 up front on the offensive line. What have you liked about that? Obviously, no pads yet, but what have you liked about that group of 5?
I mean, so far, everything. Just the way they go about their business. Trey moving into guard, his communication, his just dogged determination to understand every little thing that goes on at that position. And his communication with Joe and Bradley, huge. And then our left side, these guys are just working. And, our goal as our offensive line, their goal is to be the best unit, to be able to play together really, really well. And I think these guys are working really, really well in that direction.
Coach, can you go more into the development of Joe, getting him up to speed as a rookie, and what you've seen so far from him?
Well, I mean, I think, Joe's done a great job day in and day out. He's got the right approach in everything he does, hard work. I mean, just working extremely hard, straining mentally, doing really well there. And I think, Coach Harbaugh set up such a great training camp schedule that he's really gonna progress as we go, because it's a day by day, just climbing that staircase. And he's there every step of the way. Obviously when we get pads on, that's going to be big, to your question. And then the preseason games will be big. And then again, day one, is day one. And we'll build on it to day 2, to day 3, to day 4. And then once we get a week in with pads, then you start to get a real picture of where things are.
With Trey's move to guard, not something you've done previously. A lot of guys who talked to have made that transition before, coaches that have coached that transition. It's a lot faster at guard than it is at tackle. So with him, can you get an assessment of like how he's going to match up with the quicker speed on the interior as far as pass rushers getting?
I mean, I don't think you get a true assessment of exactly, hey, this is how it's going to match up. But when you do watch him in these practices, you get a really good sense. So I think, there's always that, hey, when you're going against Aaron Donald or somebody like that, right? That's any guard, but live in a real game. But that's always going to be different. But I think we can get a real sense.
And with Jordan McFadden, we've seen him moving around quite a bit. To go back to like the chess analogy, like what can he bring potentially as a chess piece in the run game? Obviously, bigger guys and athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now he's competing at guard. He's doing a great job there, and then the more he's shown us some things from the movement skill and his abilities there, his mental abilities. So hey, if you can do something, we're gonna tap into it, and we're experimenting with him a little bit as an extra tight end, et cetera. So it's a really great opportunity for him.